Welcome back to the Paper Pursuer. I'm going to continue on with articles from the show notes, 1188. This video, I'm going to put a couple articles together because they are quite short. This one is from the Dan Bongino show. The latest Russia hoax is already debunked by Matt Palumbo, February 21st, 2020. Welcome back, Russia hysteria. While it's no secret that Russia meddles in foreign elections, the evidence that they backed any one candidate in 2016 has always been lacking. The aim of Russian election interference is more often to create chaos and division rather than back one particular candidate. Despite the secretive FBI investigation, which morphed into Robert Mueller's special counsel exonerating Trump from claims of collusion, the Washington Post reported last night that Russia is up to their old tricks again. According to them, Joseph Maguire had been considered to be nominated for the DNI post, but Trump's opinion shifted last week after he learned from a Republican ally that the intelligence official in charge of election security, Shelby Pearson, who works for Maguire, gave a closed briefing last Thursday to the House Intelligence Committee. The Post claims that while we don't exactly know what Pearson said in the meeting, the president erroneously believed that she had given information exclusively to Representative Adam Schiff, D from California, the committee chairman, and it would be helpful to Democrats if released publicly, the people familiar with the matter said. And what did the Post claim that information was? According to their narrative, intelligence officials warned House lawmakers last week that Russia was interfering in the 2020 campaign to try to get President Trump reelected. 5 people familiar with the matter said in a disclosure that angered Mr. Trump, who complained that Democrats would use it against him. But according to CNN, of all places, it's mostly BS. Jake Tapper writes, "A national security official I know and trust pushes back on the way the briefing ODNI story being told, and others with firsthand knowledge agree with his assessment. What's been articulated in the news is that the intelligence community has concluded that the Russians are trying to help Trump again. But the intelligence doesn't say that," the official says. "The problem is Shelby Pearson, the elections threats executive in the intelligence community, said they developed a preference for Trump. A more reasonable interpretation of the intelligence is not that they have a preference. It's a step short of that. It's more that they understand the president is someone they can work with. He's a deal maker, but not that they prefer him over Sanders or Buttigieg or anyone else. So it may have been mischaracterized by Shelby at the House Intel briefing last week. And by the way," the official says, "both Democrats and Republicans were challenging this at the briefing." Then there's the matter of the tense meeting between President Trump and erstwhile acting director of national intelligence, Admiral Maguire. The president was upset that he had to hear about an intelligence conclusion from a member of the House Republicans rather from the intelligence community. So he was out of joint with Maguire on that process. None of this disputes that Trump desires to replace those who have intel expertise with partisan loyalists or dismisses the larger issues and concerns about Russia and how the president seeks help from abroad. Just that there seems to be more to this particular story. Also, none of this disputes that the Russians and others are attempting to interfere in the U.S. election again. Or, as President Trump put it this morning in a tweet, "Another misinformation campaign is being launched by Democrats in Congress saying that Russia prefers me to any of the do-nothing Democrat candidates who still have been unable to, after 2 weeks, count their votes in Iowa. Hoax number 7. Okay, that's the end of that one. It's kind of a cute one. Next one is from the Washington Examiner. It's titled "Ex-Bill Clinton Advisor, Bloomberg and Hillary Cooking Up a Scheme for Her to Become Democratic Nominee" by Caiin Yilek, February 23rd, 2020. A former advisor to President Bill Clinton speculated that Michael Bloomberg and Hillary Clinton are plotting a way for her to become the 2020 Democratic nominee, even though she's not in the race. Here's the deal that I think is going down. I think Hillary and Bloomberg have gotten together and cooked up a scheme, Dick Morris told John Katzimatidis, sorry about that, John, on the Katz Roundtable radio show on Sunday. He said Bloomberg would stay in the race, even if he has no chance of winning, in an effort to get at least enough support to keep Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders from running away with the nomination. Nobody will be nominated on the first ballot, and it'll go to a second ballot, Morris said of a brokered convention. The problem is that the party establishment doesn't have a candidate. They can't do Bloomberg because he got killed in the debate. Can't do Joe Biden, because he's already lost the front-runner status. Pete Buttigieg looks like a high school kid at the Model UN. Elizabeth Warren is third, but she's pretty far to the left, and they're not going to want to trust her. How can you trust her? She lies about everything. I digress. Morris said Sanders, the current frontrunner, would get massacred by Trump in the general election and predicted that Clinton, the 2016 nominee, would enter the race on a second ballot at a brokered convention. And then Hillary begins to gain. The other candidates begin to drop out, and Hillary is the nominee. That, I think, is the establishment scenario, he said. Hillary is the only candidate that they'll be able to come up with that can measure up to Donald Trump. Okay. Clinton said in November that she was receiving a number of calls urging her to rethink her decision to set out of the 2020 race, but said it was absolutely not in her plans. When asked earlier this month if she would consider being a vice presidential candidate, Clinton reluctantly conceded to an openness to the idea. I never say never because I do believe in serving my country, but it's not going to happen, she said. The Drudge Report reported last week that Bloomberg was considering Clinton as his running mate, but the former Secretary of State said she had no interest. Oh my goodness, can you guys even imagine? We all know what would happen to Bloomberg if she was his vice president. Pop, pop, found a duffel bag, suicide. Okay, on to the next one, guys. Thank you. Bye.